Hashtag Trending would like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scale. You can find them at meter.com/HTT. Sam Altman acknowledges that the deal with the Department of Defense might seem opportunistic and sloppy as a backlash continues. Microsoft blocks the word MicroSlop, and Discord does what Discord does. Apple raises MacBook Pro prices as M5 models add storage and GPU gains. Can you take the excitement? Washington State moves to ban mandatory employee microchipping. Is that even a thing? Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. OpenAI's chief executive, Sam Altman, acknowledged something most public critics were already saying. The company's rapid-fire announcement of a new Pentagon deal came across as opportunistic and sloppy, fueling an unusual sharp backlash from users and the broader AI community. Data from the monitoring firm Sensor Tower shows the mobile ChatGPT app's uninstall rate in the United States shot up 295% day over day immediately after the defense agreement hit the headlines. That spike was accompanied by a 775% jump in one-star ratings over the following weekend and a drop in downloads for ChatGPT itself, while competitor Claude by Anthropic climbed the App Store charts and saw a 51% increase in installs. The core of the backlash was not just the military tie-in. It was the optics. Anthropic, a major rival, had walked away from talks with the U.S. Department of War because it refused to sign a contract without clear prohibitions on using AI for domestic mass surveillance or fully autonomous weapons. OpenAI stepped in almost immediately after Anthropic was dropped, and many users saw that as selling out ethical red lines for short-term gain. In the face of mounting public and internal pressure, Altman and OpenAI moved to revise the contract. The updated language makes it explicit that the company's AI will not intentionally be used for mass domestic surveillance of U.S. citizens or by intelligence agencies like the NSA without separate approval. Honestly, when the revised deal's best selling point is we won't intentionally use this for surveillance, you kind of wonder if that's the art of the deal or just a badly timed PR damage control play. Microsoft is discovering something the rest of the internet learned about 20 years ago. If you block a word, people are going to turn it into a game. The drama started when Windows latest reported that Microsoft's official Copilot Discord server was filtering out the term MicroSlop, a not-so-flattering nickname critics have begun to use for AI-generated content and sometimes for Copilot itself. Social media picked it up instantly. Users on X and other social media sites accused Microsoft of being thin-skinned. And then naturally, they began doing what good Discorders do. There's MicroSlop spelled with a character replacing the L. There's creative spacing and other spelling tweaks. Classic internet behavior. If there's a moderation rule that people believe is absurd, they're going to try to beat it. The situation escalated when Microsoft restricted parts of the server. And according to Windows latest, the message history was hidden and posting permissions were disabled for many users. And that only amplified the censorship narrative. Microsoft, however, says this wasn't about hurt feelings. A spokesperson stated, "The Copilot Discord channel has recently been targeted by spammers attempting to disrupt and overwhelm the space with harmful content not related to Copilot." Initially, this spam consisted of walls of text, so we added temporary filters for select terms to slow down this activity. We have since made the decision to temporarily lock down the server while we work to implement stronger safeguards to protect users from harmful spam and help ensure the server remains a safe, usable space for the community. In other words, it's spam, not sensitivity. Still, it's a reminder that in the AI era, moderation tools, brand identity, and online culture do collide quickly. What looks like censorship to some may actually just be anti-spam plumbing under stress. But you got to ask yourself, has anybody from Microsoft ever been on X or Reddit? Apple's new M5 MacBook Pro lineup is bringing more storage by default and higher starting prices to match. The M5 Pro models now ship with 1 terabyte of storage standard, while M5 Max configurations start with 2 terabytes. Even the base M5 MacBook Pro moves from 512 gigabytes to 1 terabyte. Apple says the internal storage is up to 2 times faster than the previous generation. And these upgrades come with price increases. The 14-inch MacBook Pro with M5 now starts at $21.99 US, up from $19.99. The 16-inch M5 Pro model starts at $26.99, up from $24.99. And the base M5 MacBook Pro starts at $16.99, which is a $100 increase. On performance, Apple says GPU improvements should deliver roughly 20% gains over comparable M4 generation GPUs with the same number of cores. There are also display refinements, although an Ars Technica reviewer notes that some of the visible improvements at the lower end likely come more from the new chips than from the panels themselves. If you want the knock-'em-dead 27-inch option, the new Studio Display XDR starts at $32.99 US. And both the Studio Display and the Studio Display XDR offer a nano texture matte finish for a mere $300 extra. More storage, more GPU, higher prices, blah, blah, blah. This is only day 2. I'm going to be driven mad with excitement at this rate. And seriously, though, and I could be missing something. I confess to not digging deeply into this. I was barely able to stay awake reading it, and I love technology. But is this a week-long effort? They got to come up with something better than this. And finally, we're not quite living in a dystopian tech thriller yet, but Washington state lawmakers have introduced a new bill which would prohibit employers from requiring workers to have microchips implanted as a condition of employment. It also prevents companies from discriminating against employees who refuse. In other words, no, your boss cannot insist on putting an RFID chip under your skin so that you can open the office door faster, or they can figure out where you are in the office. To be clear, mandatory microchipping isn't common. There have been a handful of voluntary experiments over the years, and given where the chips are usually placed, which is in the hand, that no pun intended, but these have mostly been involving radio frequency identification or RFID implants used for building access or logging into computers. They aren't GPS trackers, but the optics have always felt a little weird. Now, the legislation appears to be preemptive. Lawmakers are responding to broader concerns about workplace surveillance, biometric tracking, and the increased use of technology to monitor productivity. The chip ban may be symbolic, but the debate underneath it is about consent, control, and where the line gets drawn between employer convenience and bodily autonomy, but overwhelmingly about privacy. And if you're wondering whether this is solving a widespread crisis, probably not. But the fact that lawmakers feel the need to say no microchips required tells you something about how quickly technology can outpace public comfort and how suspicious the public and their representatives are becoming. Not dystopia, not yet, but they're worried enough that somebody drafted a bill. And that's our show. Once again, we'd like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers full-stack networking infrastructure, wired, wireless, and cellular to leading enterprises. Working with their partners, Meter designs, deploys, and manages everything required to get performant, reliable, and secure connectivity in a space. They design the hardware, the firmware, build the software, manage deployments, and even run support. It's a single integrated solution that scales from branch offices to warehouses to large campuses all the way to data centers. Book a demo at meter.com/HTT. That's METER.com/HTT. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.